What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here. It is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. You guessed it. We will be looking at a series here between WhiteRa and 6jax DDE. As you can see there, he is playing under the account Meaty Owl Legs. That is a true facepalm moment right there. So we are on Crevasse here. This is the first game in the series between these two players. Bottom left-hand position, we do have WhiteRa as the yellow Protoss player. And then down over here in the lower right-hand position, 6jax DDE as the red Terran player. I will not be referring to him as Meaty Owl Legs because that is super creepy. Yes, it is, my friend. So yes, first game in the series between these two, WhiteRa versus DDE. Should be exciting. I'm loving casting some more PvT. Do need to get a few more Zerg games out there. Actually been a couple days since the last Zerg commentary that I did, so hopefully we'll be able to get some more of those out there. Actually, never mind, I'm a liar, because we just did do that dual commentary that had Destiny in it. Me and Cricket did that not too long ago, and that was just posted on the channel yesterday. Or was it earlier today? I don't even know anymore. But anyways, that's enough garbage there. We do have WhiteRa dropping off his initial pylon and then moving out across the map. Now, something we will want to keep an eye out is on this map, a very popular tactic is to go for a quick expand build, simply because we do have this in-base expansion there, and this allows you to expand relatively safely very, very early on in the game. So we will want to keep an eye on DDE, see if he does decide to get that refinery at 13, and actually know that time has passed, so he himself may very well be going for a 1rax expand build, and then we will need to look, and oh my gosh, WhiteRa's at 15 supply, saving up the resources as well. So it does appear at the moment like both players will be going for a quick expand. WhiteRa looking to drop that Nexus first. There we go. So you can see, obviously, we saw DDE first come out with the racks, and then he's going to move into the expansion. You can see he's saving up those resources. He does, of course, want that first Marine and the Orbital, but the fact that WhiteRa went straight into Nexus, very, very awesome indeed. Now, the big major concern, though, at this point, with this first Marine out, since we did see DDE go racks and then expand, he will actually be able to deny WhiteRa's scout for moving in and realizing that there is an expansion. However, WhiteRa going to be quite a while until his first Stalker comes into play, and without that Stalker, it is very easy for the SCV to move on in and scout out that expansion. So it is very probable that WhiteRa's expansion will be scouted by DDE. However, it doesn't seem very likely that WhiteRa will be scouting out DDE's expansion, as the probe is not likely to be able to make it into the base. So we can see the probe right now for WhiteRa trying to move into the position, and let's see if DDE is going to be able to micro enough. He doesn't really have to, though. Second Marine is out, so even without micro, he will be able to take care of that probe if he tries to sneak on into the base. But as you can see, WhiteRa deciding to pull back right now. Doesn't really want to risk losing the probe, especially with a second Marine there. Where's that SCV Scout? SCV Scout nearing its way on over, and actually, interestingly enough, WhiteRa has the option of denying the scouting. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't actually look like that's going to happen. We will have to first Zealot out, but again, without that Stalker, the SCV can completely circumvent the Zealot or any other early game units other than that Stalker, and this should allow him to get that scouting information down. We have a bunker also coming up right now for DDE. 2 more racks coming into play. SCV Scout actually chilling out in the corner for the moment. We have WhiteRa situating himself here at the Zelnaga Tower. I will be interested to see if he does attempt to go back in for secondary scouting with the worker. However, as we can see with this bunker, not very likely to happen. We have a tech lab coming down, so DDE will be working his way up to starting to get some upgrades right now. And as you can see, that expansion is finished, and he should begin to get that saturated sometime soon. And DDE deciding not to push in, unbelievably, and now the 2 Stalkers are coming through. He actually won't get that scout. I'm a little bit disappointed. He could have easily snuck past that Zealot and made it into the base and scouted out WhiteRa's expansion, but because he decided to sit idly over here, didn't end up doing that. But look at that Stalker bypassing right now. Looks like the SCV is going to make it up, but no, the second Stalker comes out, and WhiteRa able to deny that secondary scouting. Very unfortunate situation. DDE certainly could have scouted out that expansion if he pushed his SCV straight into WhiteRa's base right away, but again, as we saw, he decided to wait, and that proved to be the demise of that SCV. We have a robotics facility coming out right now for WhiteRa, also dropping down his 3rd gateway. So we'll be starting out in the transition phase of this game with actually 4 gateways and that robotics. So there you go. We do have a small push coming out right now for DDE, and let's see what he has got. All he has at the moment is Concussive Shell for upgrades, but he is working his way across the map. Now we do see WhiteRa was able to scout that push coming as he was situated at that Xel'Naga tower, allowed him to see the units moving in from that direction. So as a result, he will be pushing back right now and preparing for this. Hopefully we do see some sentries come on through. That Warp Gate research just about finished right now. This is actually scouting right now. WhiteRa does want to see when it's coming, and there you go. Now he knows it is here, but he needs that sentry to come out, or else it looks like DDE may make it in the base. And actually beautiful timing there. Sentry making it out just in time, allowing him to drop that force field. There, those warp gates. We should be seeing a couple more sentries. Just one sentry for now. Warping in the Zealot as well. He's got that next warp gate. That's going to allow him to get one more sentry. And beautiful here by WhiteRa, able to deny this push from doing much damage at all. There's another force field, trapping some Marines on the inside. WhiteRa able to snipe them for free. The Zealots do get taken out from the guys in the low ground, but still, WhiteRa getting a lot of damage out there. Needs to be careful though, sacrificing his sentry, deciding to push on down to try to take out the rest of these units. Going to be losing a Stalker as well. We do have some reinforcements from DDE, but not going to be enough. WhiteRa does have enough remaining forces to push that back, and here we go. WhiteRa back over here with the Observer Scout. We'll be realizing that DDE does have that expansion. That is to be expected, but he just wanted to confirm that really. I want to take a quick look at the unit loss tab. We can see DDE quite a bit behind. However, with some reinforcements, going to be able to kill off the rest of what WhiteRa has here. And actually, no, it's going to be very close. Some nice target firing here from WhiteRa, and he will manage to take out this Marauder. Some reinforcements as well, losing the sentry. Not able to micro that back because of those concussive shells. Very nice, though. I think WhiteRa is still ahead. Yes, he is slightly ahead at the moment. He does have the scouting information that he needed. Also very interesting to see here. We do have three Zealots moving across with the War Prism, so he will be doing a Zealot Bomb here at that inside expansion, and he may even warp in some units along with these Zealots. We'll be interested to see what he decides to do. Is he going to stick just with those? No, he's not. We'll be warping in additional Zealots as well, forcing DDE to pull off the line here. And what is he going to try to target fire next? We are expecting DDE to respond there. We've got a couple units here at the front getting ready to push on if necessary. A couple Zealots forcing back the units of DDE at the same time. WhiteRa forcing the liftoff of that orbital command. This is a tremendous advantage here for WhiteRa. He's going to be doing a lot of damage and setting DDE quite a bit behind. DDE, though, with that bunker, able to take out those Stalkers very quickly. Zealots doing what they can, still trying to go to town here. A few more Zealots get warped in, and they will be going straight for the resource line. We've got one Zealot right there battling against the SCVs. The SCVs are turning to engage. A few more Zealots moving down. A couple Zealots up here to distract the bio as WhiteRa goes to town on DDE's SCVs. His Econ getting hit so very hard here. Very impressive play there by WhiteRa. Let's take a look quickly at the unit loss tab. You can see WhiteRa is slightly behind, but the one thing we do want to take a quick look at before is this right here. 22 workers killed for WhiteRa. WhiteRa economically in a fantastic position right now. That certainly paid off for him. He managed to kill off so many SCVs. He really hurt the economy of DDE during that engagement, and as a result, we will see DDE push out as he does need to try to reciprocate some of that damage. He realizes at this point he is quite a bit behind. Has a lot of work to do to get back in the game. Another drop here with the War Prism from WhiteRa and just forcing the guys off the line. And you can see he's not even killing a bunch of SCVs here. But at the moment, DDE only mining from one base is behind WhiteRa. And this is the whole point of what he is doing. He's just trying to harass as much as possible. Stop mining for as long as possible. We'll be killing off a few, one supply deep over there. And at the same time, we do have DDE pushing out across his expansion. And WhiteRa looks to be losing this Nexus. He's going to pull down with some units, but he won't make it in time. So WhiteRa does lose the Nexus, so that's exactly what DDE needed to do to try to get himself back in the swing of things. This is a lot of bio, and actually I don't think WhiteRa has enough right here to deal with this. That one Colossus should get target fire down pretty quickly, trying to do what he can to take out as much of the bio as possible, but not going to happen. Hopefully WhiteRa cancels this as he lost his forces over here. We still have some harass going on. Looks like that was finally cleaned up by DDE. We do have one Zealot sitting over there, and DDE again realized he was able to take out that expansion, and that was absolutely huge for him. That's exactly the kind of thing he needed to do to, again, get himself back in this game. But with that said, WhiteRa is still certainly ahead. We're going to take a look again at the workers killed. 32 workers killed for WhiteRa. WhiteRa's economy should still be quite a bit ahead, and it is significantly ahead, in fact. So sitting in a very fantastic position right now. Even with losing that Nexus, he has managed to do so much economic damage to DDE that he is just a bit too far behind, and I'm thinking he's going to have a very difficult time getting himself back in this game. He is working to resaturate that expansion. We do have a couple medevacs moving across the map. They are just scouting for now, though. No units loaded up into them, and DDE still needs to be on the offensive. He still needs to do some damage because, as we have seen, he is still behind. It's going to take a little bit more work before he gets himself back in the game. One Colossus getting spotted. Bio stimming up, trying to engage it, and unfortunately will be forced back right now. We have a Viking pushing forward, and that's going to be trying to target fire those Colossus. A couple Stalkers will be used to push that back. DDE getting ready for another engagement. He is stimmed up, and he will be trying to do more damage to WhiteRa. Again, trying to return the damage as much as possible, get himself back in the game. WhiteRa losing one Colossus already. However, enough Stalkers, Sentries, and Zealots to push back the rest of the force there. And unfortunately for DDE, that's going to be it for this specific engagement. WhiteRa managing to defend his expansion, and now he does have that third up. Looks like he's got enough units to be able to defend it from this point forward as well. So I wonder if DDE should be coming out with an additional expansion. There it is, building an additional expansion inside of his base right now. And I do want to take a quick look at the upgrades. WhiteRa sitting over there with the Observer Scout. Upgrades right now, nothing for WhiteRa. He does have the Armor level 1 coming through just now. He's been so concentrated on the harass so far in this game. Now we do have Weapons level 1 already finished right now for DDE, and it looks like he will be loading up these medevacs and moving out for an additional engagement. However, WhiteRa, oh no, just barely missed scouting that out. WhiteRa barely missed scouting the drop that is coming right now. So I will be interested to see if we do have DDE actually do some significant damage here. We've got a probe moving across the map, and that's perfectly timed to scout out the dropships moving across the map right now. So WhiteRa knows to expect this from this direction over here. However, at the same time, we do have WhiteRa moving with yet another Zealot bomb. Two Vikings, though. Are they going to drop the Warp Prism in time? He should be able to get the Zealots down. No, only getting 2 Zealots down, but still will be a little bit more economic harass and force DDE to push back with some of his units to try to assist and prevent those Zealots from doing any more economic damage. And there we go, DDE finally managing to take care of that. But here comes a drop right now from DDE. WhiteRa prepared, though. Target firing down. One medevac forced to engage now. Lots of Marauders on the ground. That'll be enough to tear through those Stalkers. We need some more units over here for WhiteRa because he will be taking some pretty significant damage. Forced back right now. Colossus should be able to shoot from that position. There we go. And very nice drop there from DDE. Sniping down the expansion, trying to get some Colossus because he knows he is a goner at this point. Does he get one medevac away? Yes, he does. DDE sneaking away with one medevac. Couple units moving across the map. We've got a Marauder scouting out at that Zelnaga tower. So WhiteRa, unfortunately, taking some pretty hefty damage there, losing that expansion. Let's take a look here at the workers lost. DDE trying to get himself back in the game, killing off a few of WhiteRa's probes, but still will be forced back right now from the push from WhiteRa. And I do wonder if WhiteRa is going to actually move out for an actual engagement right now rather than just dropping and harassing and everything like that. I would like to see him actually push out with a strong engagement and a few more drops going on over here for DDE. However, that does get stopped by the Zealots over there. Pulling back momentarily, will be healing up a little bit of his units and then getting ready for an additional drop. But as we can see at the front of DDE's base, big strong push getting ready from WhiteRa. One Colossus bugging out on the high ground. WhiteRa needs that for this engagement. He is not helping out his buddies at all, though. WhiteRa forced back. Is he going to try to get this Colossus out of that stuck position? He needs to try to move him. What is going on? This is terrible for WhiteRa. Finally, the Colossus maneuvers, but is it too late? He's taken some pretty big losses here from the bio of DDE, and I don't know that he has enough right now to deal with the rest of this. A nice force field's going to help. A couple Zealots continue to chop through that bio, and there you go. He does have enough to continue to push through what DDE has right now. Medevac still sitting over here. Doesn't look like that's going to be moving forward for any action anytime soon. And WhiteRa, the very unfortunate situation with that Colossus bugging out right there on the ledge. That was actually really awful for him. I don't think he would have taken nearly as many losses during that engagement. Colossus gets sniped down, and those Zealots are goners as well. And actually, DDE just lifting up and realizing there's just a few Zealots. He's got reinforcements. Will be pulling on down. Finally, DDE getting ready to move into his third expansion. Scan going down, attempting to drop the Observer. Looks like he will make it away though, so WhiteRa's Observer does live to see another day. A few more units making their way across the map for WhiteRa. Is he going to take care of these destructible rocks? I would like to see him work through those, making a much quicker path to his opponent's third expansion. And there you go, WhiteRa finally starting to work down these rocks, getting ready to push right now. And I'm still thinking that WhiteRa's in a strong position, even with the losses he has taken. I'm going to take another look here. Workers killed. As we can see, WhiteRa is still significantly ahead. We do have another drop coming down over here for DDE, and he's going to be trying to do as much economic damage as he can, and this is actually forcing WhiteRa all the way back. And at the same time, DDE moving across the map with the rest of his bio. The Robotics Bay getting sniped down, and he does take it out. DDE sniping down the Robotics Bay, stopping the production of any more Colossus. At the same time, another bio push stimming up, going for the Nexus. Will he drop it in time? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Will be very close. He is not focusing the units at all, and he's just focusing down the Nexus, and he drops it. WhiteRa losing his Nexus right now. He's in the position where he is forced to move out for an engagement. He really needs to do some damage right now. Losing that Nexus was pretty terrible and may have swung things in the favor of DDE. However, I'm not sure that he's got enough to defend against this. This is quite a strong push right now coming from WhiteRa. Charge Zealots, no Blink Stalkers, but the Charge Zealots will be enough. Plus those two Colossus tearing through the bio here for DDE. Vikings target firing down those Colossus. Those get sniped down from the Vikings. And DDE forced to call the GG. Alright, my friends, that does it for game number 1 here between WhiteRa and DDE in the series. We will be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, guys, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.